Hey, it's Brett Stewart, and this is my third addition to the home recording studio videos that I've had online. They've gotten massive support, and I've answered a lot of questions on videos, and I really appreciate that. That's been really great. It's really awesome to help you guys, and you know, an endeavor that's really worthwhile and something I'm also doing myself. So today I want to talk about amp noise, because it's gonna happen. Like, it's inevitable. Like, even in the last video I showed you, your amp is still going to make noise. That's going to be impossible. And even if you plug your guitar into your interface, which I do not suggest, it's still going to make noise. Even the GarageBand presets, they're still going to make noise. I'm not sure if you can hear mine. I just turned it up. I mean, you don't hear it as bad once it's turned up, you know, I mean, like, you don't hear it quite as bad after you started playing. But it's pretty apparent right now. I don't know if you can hear it on my amp right now, but it's pretty apparent. Like, it's definitely there. And whether you're using the Audix OM2s that I suggested or some other mic, it's gonna pick it up. So this is a problem I struggled with for a really long time, because it's really tough to get rid of that noise without sacrificing your audio quality. And I found a few ways to do that. The first way I found is you can use a program called SOUNDSOAP. I highly suggest this. It's what I use for the Twin Thieves album where we've been recording. What it does is I'll put a little link to it below, is that it isolates the frequency it's making that sound at. So you play your entire track, you know, you record your song, and then you leave like 2 seconds of that at the end. And then you tell it, get rid of that 2 seconds for everything. And it'll do that, and it's really nice, because most of these programs kind of suck at that. But this one does a phenomenal job at getting rid of them. You can try a free version of it. I believe it imports. I know it has a plugin that goes from the GarageBand, which is what I use. But I know you can also plug it into a numerous amount of different audio production softwares. You do have to buy it, which is kind of a drawback. But you know what? It's worth it. If you want professional sound, that's what you gotta do. And I think that you can get the $50 version of it. Do not be confused, because they don't explain this on their website very well. The $50 version is the light version, and what it does is it only gives you the program itself to open up on the computer. You can import MP3s or WAVs, or whatever you're recording your audio in. You can import them into that program and then do all your work on that in there. And that works fine, but I personally like to not have two steps. So I spent the $100, which I then got the Pro version, or the regular version, and that has plugins to GarageBand and all that, so I never actually have to leave my software to do that recording. And that's really helpful. That's a great way to do it. I mean, if you want to do it on more of a budget and you care more about time, there's definitely a few ways to do it. Care less about time. There's a few ways to do it in programs like Audacity. You can definitely download Audacity, isolate the sound, and use the remove noise function to do so, and that'll work. I'm not sure how well it'll work, but it'll work. I mean, the problem is that home recording studios, you don't have the options of a real studio. A lot of studios are using a big mixer, and they're going to find that exact frequency, and they're going to shut it off or turn it off. That's how they get rid of it in studios. I'm sure if you listen to a lot of like Beatles recordings from the early 60s or Dylan recordings, you're going to hear that noise because they weren't very good at removing it yet. So anyway, SOUNDSOAP is the way to go if you want to do that stuff. I would highly suggest it to get rid of your noise, and that'll get rid of it really well. As for the audio comments I made in the first video. The first video is a fairly old video. It was about 1.5 years ago, maybe even 2 years. It's been a while. So I'd like to correct some comments I made regarding audio in that video. I was using Skull Candies at the time because they are an effective way to get good audio. They're a decent price, and they're good for someone who was like me, who was a teenager who was just starting off recording. But for a professional level, or even a higher consumer level, they're not good at that. One thing I would suggest is upgrading either to studio or semi-studio quality monitors. I mean, even if you want to go on Cheap Street, you can spend $100 at Best Buy in their little music departments and get decent, M Studio monitors, and those are going to be even better than a pair of headphones. Or even just get a pair of nicer studio headphones. I picked up a couple pairs of studio headphones at at Costco actually. They're selling studio headphones, and they weren't bad. They're about $60 a piece, and they sounded a lot better. They require a battery, and I'll put a link to those below or to the side, or YouTube's always changing, I don't even know. But I'll put a link to everything, and if you guys have any questions for me, as always, please ask them. I'll be releasing a few different videos in the next few weeks regarding all this stuff. The best place to ask me for questions and stuff is to follow me on Twitter or find me on Facebook via my musical Facebook, not my personal Facebook. That'd be creepy. So please do that if you have questions. I don't always check my YouTube inbox. I delete mostly everything that goes through it. I do read your guys and I respond to them because I've responded to a lot of you, but as I tend to delete those because I tend to get a lot of spam on that. So please stalk me in one of those two other places, or stalk me on my website at Foglit Studios, and find me in one of those places and I will help you, and let's make some awesome music. Have a great day. Thanks.